Hello everybody, it's the Historical Gamer once again, and today we are returning to Rule the Waves 3, our Italian Let's Play series, and we are at war once again. We have just entered into a war. No one's fought or done anything yet, I don't think, although we're blockaded, so that's going on. But we've just entered a war with Austria-Hungary. Their ally Japan joined the war as well, and we are allied to Russia. Also, so we are allied to Russia, who is in the war with us. We actually joined the war against Japan, I think it was, and then Austria-Hungary declared war on us. So it might technically be a three-way war. If we take a look at relationships here, you can see Russia is allied to us. They're at war with Japan, but they are not at war with Austria-Hungary. What the hell, allies? You're supposed to... Okay, well, they're fighting Japan, so that helps. In any event, the war situation. So, Italy has 5 battleships. Austria-Hungary has 12, which is probably why we're blockaded. We are building 2. Italy also is going up against Japan with 6 battleships. Fortunately, at least in the war with Japan, Russia has 28 battleships. So, I know Tsushima happened and all that, but dear God, I hope you can win 28-6. Additionally, Russia has 24 armored cruisers. Japan has 23, so hopefully Russia keeps those out of the Mediterranean. Austria-Hungary has 11, and we have 6. They're building 5 more. We're building 4 more. Meanwhile, 9 light cruisers for Austria-Hungary. We actually have 11, so maybe there's an opportunity there for us. Japan has 8 and Russia has 18. Russia's navy is so big. I don't know how they can afford this. 50 destroyers for Russia, 41 for Japan, and 39 for Austria-Hungary. We have 24 and 6 corvettes for us. So the war is just broken out. We are blockaded, but no battles have been fought so far. We're going to go ahead and send all of our corvettes to trade protection. So we'll get that 6-5 up there. We will also we have some ships already on foreign stations. Everything's been brought into readiness. So some of our ships were, at the time, some of our ships were in mothballs. So the crew quality on a lot of these battleships is poor. Our armored cruisers are a little bit better. I think we're going to set 4 of our light cruisers to commerce rating, since we do have 2 more of those than the Austria-Hungary does. And then let's set an armored cruiser or 2. How about this older Anaconia one on commerce rating as well? And maybe the Palestro. Meanwhile, we are a little bit in the red. We are about to have 2 new battleships of the Roma class, which is a new sort of semi-dreadnought class that we had laid down. We could only afford 2 of them, but you can see here they have 4 12-inch guns, 12 8-inch guns, and 23-inch guns. These are good ships, I think. They should fare well against the Austria-Hungary's navy, I think. The Kaiser class, yeah, these things are ancient and not good. The Budapest class is a little better. 10-7s, but they're in casemates, not turrets, as best as I can tell. Also, they're slower than ours. And then they've got Ersthog Karls, which they're about the same. Ours are a little better, I think. They also have one of our THG classes, which they got at the end of the last war, which kind of sucks. And Zerini, it's under construction. We don't actually know what it is, so that'll be interesting. Most of their cruisers don't make more than 20 knots. So actually the good thing that I can see here is that their ships are not faster than ours, which was a major problem when we were fighting France, is that all of their ships seemingly were faster than ours. Their destroyers are, I believe, equal to our speed, although those 28 knot ones, slight advantage. Their cruisers are slower than ours, with a couple of exceptions. Maybe these newer ones of the Jupiter class are slightly faster, possibly. I'm not sure why one of the Jupiters is 18 knots and a different tonnage than the other. That's strange. 23 knots and 4,800 tons, 18 knots. Very strange. But overall, I think, I don't know if these new armored cruisers are the stair class. Those look like they could be a problem, but we're also building some of our own armored cruisers here that'll be finishing. The first couple will be finishing up in 3 months, and then we'll have another 2 coming in about 2 years. These guys have 4 9-inch guns, 10 5s, 12 3s, and they make 22 knots. Might as well be battleships with their size. But yeah, that's the situation right now that we find ourselves in. So, to war, to war. And let's not lose this time, okay, guys? All right. Patrolling Austria-Hungary ship intercepts one of our raiders. So let's fight the battle and see what happens. I don't love that my raiders are mostly light cruisers, which are not very large. 2 6s, 8 5s, 10 2s. Clear weather, fresh breeze east. Let's just hope it's something smaller. The good news is we can run if it's too big for us, I think. Because I think we're faster, unless it's one of their handful of light cruisers that has a speed advantage over us. Which are the Jupiters. So those are faster than us. They make 23 knots. So let's slow this down to slow and get going. Is that another unidentified ship? Fudge. Let's engage. Oh, if that's an armored cruiser, we're toast. Maybe we can run away from it. What does the Jupiter have anyway? 10 3-inchers. Interesting. So that's actually not necessarily a better class. Certainly a higher rate of fire, but a lot smaller in the way of guns. All right, let's bump it up to normal. So we're at kind of a long-range duel here. The Jupiter's turning in to us to help us close the distance a little bit. I don't know that we really did anything to it as we were shooting on it there. Maybe they were trying to buy time for their armored cruiser to come up. It's probably the case. Okay, so they've got a real high rate of fire, but again, our tonnage or our caliber of shells should come to our advantage. It is an armored cruiser of the St. George class. It's sitting off at a deeper range. That's not the right word. We do have an upgraded fire control system, by the way, but the Jupiter definitely is in trouble. Now we're engaging the armored cruiser. We've burned through half of our ammo. It doesn't look like... I can't tell if the light cruiser is shooting at me or not. We've got a few splashes around us. We're still making 20 knots, which tells me the damage is probably not too bad yet. Jupiter is slowing to a stop by the looks of it. All right. She's still making a little bit of speed. But we're not actually shooting at it much, as best I can tell. Well, no, we still are. I don't know. It's confusing. All right, so the enemy actually doesn't have more light cruisers than us. So if we sink them and then escape... So let's do that. Let's crank to Squadron... Oh, Squadron Max is 2. Why did it slow down? Pause, pause, pause. I was going 20. What? What happened? It was like by changing the speed, somehow we lost all of our speed? We have got a fair bit of flotation damage, which isn't great. The Jupiter is sinking, I think. St. George, meanwhile, has 2 8s, 8 6s, and 12 3s. We're not going to sink that guy. But if I can't make faster speeds, I'm kind of screwed. Unless we can get lucky and bring him in on a torpedo hit here. Maybe, well, more likely they will torpedo me. And we're dead in the water, so we are probably sinking too. Although, our flotation damage is not too bad, actually. So maybe we're not sinking yet, and we've just got like a boiler out, or a couple of, all of our boilers are out. We did just get a little bit of speed back. We're almost out of ammo. unlikely I'm going to get enough speed to get out of here. All right, just said machinery repaired. We're up to 4 knots. The light cruiser sank. Now, their crew is probably not very good either, so maybe there's a chance we survive. That flotation is still below 50. But you got to think they're going to close in for the kill here eventually. Come on, repair whatever's broken. Or give me nightfall. It's after 4:30. We're up to 6 knots. Damage is ticking up just slightly, but they're not actually scoring that many hits, which is interesting. Then again, neither am I. I'm not getting any red flashes here. We're down to 5 knots, so they must have gotten something. We're getting a lot of light hits here. They're peppering me with their light guns. We're down to 4 knots. All right, it's after 1800 hours, local times, after, yeah, they're both. God damn it. Repair your damn ship. I can't get out. Damage says 88%. We took a couple more lights and another medium. It's dusk. Now it's night. Any chance we can escape? Just limp away in the dark. Maybe the AI won't come for us. We escaped. Oh my goodness, thank God. All right, so we took heavy damage on one of our light cruisers, but the enemy lost one of their light cruisers sunk. Also light damage on their armored cruiser. And I'll take that. That's a victory. Oh no, we had to scuttle at a neutral shore due to damage. So we get a victory, but we still lose the ship. Blockades causing food shortages and privations in Japan. Good. Knock the Japanese out of the war, Russia. Yes, add 1 month of construction to our armored cruisers so they can get better fire control. We sank 9 enemy merchants for 45 victory points. The enemy gets 250 victory points for blockading, but we get 250 for our allies blockading Japan because we have no ships in the Japanese theater. Okay, so we're about even in terms of victory points right now, but we're gonna have to figure out a way to break the blockade. So you can see we went from 11 CLs to 10. The enemy went from 9 to 8. So I guess in that one section, that area favors us a little bit. We're about to go into the bankruptcy area, so we're gonna have to pause one of our armored cruisers that's building to get us back into the black. These 2 battleships should finish next turn though, and get our expenses back in order. So we'll go ahead and end the turn. We got another battle going on, coastal raid near Bari. This is right near the coast of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. A considerable force of our ships is deployed. What's up here? We've got armored cruisers in the van and rear. I don't see any battleships, which is interesting. So it looks like we've got a couple of destroyer flotillas, 1 light cruiser. All right, let's pull the armored cruisers back. Let's just double check our OOB here. Yeah, 2 armored cruisers, 3 light cruisers, and 11 destroyers. So we'll turn our armored cruisers around, even though that'll probably prevent us from spotting the enemy too quickly. I'd like to keep my handful of heavy ships close at hand We're only moving at 12 knots. Presumably they're... Oh, by the way, I should probably speed that up, right? All right, enemy ship spotted. This is a coastal raid, remember. We'll move our ships all over in this direction. We'll leave the destroyers in AI command. And we'll start closing and see what the enemy has in store for us. Looks to be an armored cruiser based on initial sightings. Another enemy ship over in this direction. Multiple enemy ships in that direction. We might actually be able to cut off the bulk of their fleet. We'll see what they all brought to play. If these are battleships, things are going to... Oh, God. Did they bring their whole fleet? All right, let's focus on the southern group. No battleships identified yet. A lot of cruisers. Now, the bulk of our cruisers are faster than theirs if we want to crank it up to flank speed, so that is something to consider. I have not done that yet. I'm at sort of a battle fleet speed, if you will. 18 and 20 knots, respectively. It is not a, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, run for my life speed. Can I order you to do a flotilla attack? Do I have to have AI control off? Doesn't look like that makes a difference. Okay, support, I guess. They do have torpedoes. I just don't know how best to deploy them. All right, we're cutting off the head, oh god, of the enemy task force. Squadron Max, get out of there. While we try and chase the southern portion of their task forces. Even though we still have destroyers, the tech is pretty basic at the moment. I'm leaving my own destroyer to kind of do their own thing. Okay. Turning away from the Ligura. Heading toward the Minerva. Ligura is actually one of mine. Never mind. All right. Let's see if we can isolate one of these armored cruisers and sink it. My destroyers are at least screening. They're doing some of their jobs. All right, so Kushan signals misunderstood. What does that mean, though? What are they doing? Looks like they just increased their speed, which... Okay. There's a lot of misunderstood signals here. I don't know if it's because the commander of the division is bad or something. I'm not really entirely sure what's going on there. Certainly a lot more misreading than I'm used to. It is overcast, so visibility might not be quite as good. Maybe? Not really sure. All right, let's do this. Can I get this destroyer into my command? I can, so we're going to undo that. We're going to switch you over into core. And we're going to swing you down here to engage the Minerva. I'm going to try and send 4 destroyers up at the Minerva over here. One of the destroyers is sinking, which is where? Zephyro, which is where? Maybe that's one over here? No. Not really sure where she is. Oh, there she is. She's the lead of this destroyer task force that I just... Or decided, let's order them into a torpedo attack on the Minerva. Okay. Alright, we're going to try and torpedo the Minerva. Well, multiple torpedoes are fired. I think the range was too great. Those destroyers took a beating. One more of them is sinking. They did what I asked them to do. They fired their torpedoes, so I'm losing multiple destroyers. Now the good thing is destroyers are cheap-ish, so we can more easily replace our losses. Okay, we're trying to close on the Minerva. She's just kind of staying away from us. She's obviously trying to get back to her fleet. Oh boy. I don't know if their destroyers are coming in for an attack. I'm turning my cruiser back to try and shield. Oh god. Ligura is making 0 knots. That's not good. Or no, that's just because she's doubling back to join the light cruiser task force. Gotcha. I don't think we've sunk any of the enemy ships so far. They're handling their light ships better, I guess. But they also have a considerable firepower advantage in this battle. Sure. Alright. It's nighttime. Maybe I can send these guys in. We lost, what, 2 destroyers so far? Destroyers might have better luck breaking the line with the aid of darkness. I feel like darkness can go both ways in terms of giving you a better chance of dealing a defeat to the enemy with torpedoes, but on the flip side, them getting in close to you and doing the same. Oh god, those 2 ships of mine are almost colliding. One of the enemy destroyers is dead in the water. That's good. As far as they break off a little bit. Fresca's sinking. Well, that's the lead of the Southern Destroyer class. Orso's sinking. Man, my destroyers really like to sink. The good news is this one enemy armored cruiser seems to be on fire and not doing great. We have destroyers to spare. That's like the only thing in my fleet I might have enough of. Enemy Moros class is hit by a torpedo. Hell yeah! And dead in the water. Hopefully that means she's gonna sink. Also, it looks like there's... Well, those are probably my destroyers back there that sank. Alright, let's try and close with this armored cruiser here. I'm hoping the dead in the water enemy armored cruiser is sinking. Downpost sinking. That's another one of my destroyers. The Butcher of the Destroyer. That's what they will call me. My light cruisers, I don't even know where they went. They're over here just doing their thing. Mostly sailing away. Alright, let's try and close. How fast is this guy going? 20 knots? He's going faster than me. Okay. What signals are you misunderstanding? You're too far away for me to signal you, so what are you... I don't know what they're misunderstanding, but okay. Euro is hit by a torpedo, so one of our destroyers probably just blew up. Another one, that is. I don't know how many I don't love that my light cruisers are sailing into the enemy. Minerva's hit by a torpedo. Eritrea and Minerva have collided. Well, that's great. So we're probably going to lose a light cruiser in exchange for the Minerva over here. They collided a second time? I like to imagine they rammed the enemy. So if we lose a light cruiser and they lose an armored, but we also lose like 12 destroyers, I don't think this battle's going to count as a victory for me. Their objectives were to sink, I think, some transports, but I don't know if warships count in the calculus. Enemy ship keeps coming up behind me. Can I turn into it? Like, what is it? Is it really just a destroyer that just threw me off like that? All right. Okay. I don't know if I sank any enemy destroyers, but let's try and end this fight now, I guess. I guess we can... These are just destroyers, though, right? Because if they're destroyers, then I'm taking an awful lot of risk for a very minor set of ships. Although there's something bigger in there too, I think. Although maybe not. Okay, the battle should almost be over. Doesn't seem like either side wants to fight any further. Yeah, I have nothing in sight. Well, they're shooting at a corvette of mine, I guess, so maybe they're trying to raid my shipping. I don't know that my crews are in a position to continue fighting, but we'll... Ship opens fire on a destroyer. Where? Where is this destroyer? Oh my goodness, there's a whole bunch of reports of stuff. They're definitely raiding my shipping now. Getting a whole bunch of reports of stuff. They're bombarding my coastal fortifications now. Oh boy. Well, there's a lot more of them, huh? Do we want to try and chase their armored cruisers down? Their destroyers are sure coming up fast. We're like right by our port if we need to duck in. I don't know where all my other ships decided to sail off to. I can't command them. They're doing their own thing. I've got one armored cruiser versus 2, plus destroyers. I guess we'll tuck into port. Hey, going to port. Okay. That should do it. We don't have any more of our fleet involved. We do still have coastal ships which are getting shot up, so maybe they will do a lot of damage to our inshore squadrons. We'll see. We shall see. I wish I could go faster, but I've got to wait. It keeps pausing because they keep attacking me. Let's just auto resolve. Maybe that'll end it quicker. The little let the computer run the rest of the battle thing. I'm sure they sank at least 2 ships, which I'm guessing was their objective. It's either that or destroy a coastal fort, which they're also probably going to do. Unless we get like a lucky, it'd be cool if we get like a lucky shot from one of our coastal guns. What did we all lose? So we lost like 6 or 7 destroyers, I think. We sank an enemy armored cruiser. I didn't see a report of our light cruiser going down, although maybe I missed that. My corvettes suck. They might wipe out my entire corvette fleet. It does say the coastal guns are firing and hitting targets up in the top left. Man, this is a long, drawn-out battle. They really don't want to give up the coastal shipping, huh? All right, battle's over. Italy's the winner, it says. So what did we lose? We lost 6 destroyers, a corvette, and an auxiliary. So like an AMC. The enemy lost 1 armored cruiser sunk, 2 destroyers. So they didn't go harmless. Their destroyers weren't unafflicted. So 1 armored cruiser, 2 destroyers. They also had an armored cruiser heavily damaged and 2 destroyers heavily damaged as well. So it looks like we get the edge here. They did not destroy their bombardment target, so that's another reason that we won. A minor victory. We netted, we outgained them by 400 victory points. Nice. The Roma is commissioned into the Navy, and during the trials, it has found the ship is easily surpassing her design speed. Also, why is Germany and France getting more angry at us? France honors her alliance and joins Japan in war against Italy. What? We need to fill the post of a naval attaché in Sweden. An indecisive engagement has taken place between the Japanese and Russian navies in Northeast Asia. Okay. Well, our ally Russia joins the war against Austria-Hungary. Thank God. All right, so they joined the war against Austria-Hungary, but now we're at war with France too. Japan's blockaded at least, but then again, so are we. So now it's 14 battleships and 12 battleships versus 6. Plus, if Japan comes their way, it's another 6. It's the battleships aren't even the most concerning part. I feel like the cruisers, especially if Japan gets out of Asia, is where we get buried. Oh my God. We're never breaking that blockade. We are rebuilding a couple of cushions with some new stuff. Okay. Enemy raid on our coastal shipping again. We'll just keep fighting these little things, and hopefully maybe we can wear them down. Sinking an enemy armored cruiser was not nothing. We didn't lose one. We didn't lose anything except destroyers, which... All right, sink 2 enemy ships. That's our objective. Raid on enemy coastal shipping. So let's get up there and go for it. Ship spotted, sir. Turn toward the enemy. Multiple ships spotted in formation. They're almost certainly military. All right, max -2. Get these squadrons up to speed. See what the enemy has up their sleeves. They're French, or at least some of them are. Remember, the French are faster than us typically, which is not great. Do I just have the one armored cruiser? Because that kind of sucks. Oh, there's more ships back here. Why are my destroyers not coming up? Max speed. Get in the fight. All right, 3 armored cruisers versus 1 armored cruiser and a light cruiser. Maybe we can close in and get torpedoes in because we're toast otherwise. And I'm bringing these destroyers forward. There are other enemy ships. I wonder if these are merchants. They seem to be turning away. Or at least they're not coming on. Although I guess so are their armored cruisers too, huh? Says there's glare. No, that's a battle line. Okay. Well, maybe we can sink these guys and then run away. It's 1700 hours, so nighttime will occur before too long. Come on, destroyers, get your torpedoes off. You're my only chance. Death ride of the destroyers. All right, enemy light guns are gonna come into action here. Enemy cruiser is hit by a torpedo. Hell yeah, brothers! It looked like it sank instantly. It broke in 2. Collision between a Desrix and our destroyer. Now the Desrix is obviously much larger than ours, so I'm sure we won't sink him just with that, but the enemy ship is at least dead in the water. So go get him, boys. Torpedo it. Alright, 2 of our destroyers are now sinking. Third destroyer sinking. Alright, so the ocean is littered with destroyers that are sinking. Already heard torpedo. Yes! Enemy armored cruisers hit by a torpedo. Just dead in the water. Rest of the battle fleet is now engaging my destroyers, which I'm going to run. Oh, maybe we should just charge in. We're already up there. Alright, one of those is going down. Alright, I'm going to hope that their armored cruiser there is sinking. And I'm going to run and use the night to escape. So my destroyers all sank. Well, there's one who's still alive. But not for long, probably. Alright, so it's a bad day to be in my fleet, my destroyer fleet. Oh, yes. So objective accomplished. That means the armored cruiser probably sank. Our destroyer is up there, probably getting shredded. All right, let's get our cruisers back into port. I can afford destroyers. That's the whole thing. I can't afford heavy ships. Hey, looks like it escaped. Got out of there. The brave little destroyer that could. I don't know how much it did in the battle, but at least it got away. That is a destroyer, right? Yeah. Go enter port. All right, so our coastal raid succeeded in a way that I didn't think likely, especially when we saw that second line of enemy ships. All right, battle's over. Italy is the victor. We lost 5 destroyers sunk, but the enemy lost 2 armored cruisers. Any day of the week, that is a good trade. We did suffer heavy damage on one of our lights and a destroyer. The enemy really didn't take much damage otherwise, but 2 enemy armored cruisers down. 2,600 victory points. Major victory. Gain 1 prestige. France is dominating the seas in the Mediterranean, and our forces are too weak. Well, we're losing victory points because the enemy fleets dominate the seas, but we're winning the battles that we're fighting, so... The Austrian ship Sadia has been forced to seek immediate neutral port in Indian Ocean due to mechanical problems. Good. Meanwhile, 20 enemy merchants are sunk in trade warfare for 100 more victory points. So we might be blockaded, but we are, and our unrest level is unfortunately not in great shape. But we are doing, well, we're doing what we can do. The 2 Roma classes are going to form another battle division. Okay. I think. Where do I need to go for divisions? It's been a while. New division! Battleship division. Assign a commander. Speed enthusiast, above average, disciplinarian. Okay, I'll take that. Meanwhile, you are average and timid, and you are below average. So let's... Can we make these guys the fleet flag? And then make these guys... Are these the THGs? They are. Set roll. Core. Battle Division 3 is the follow. Core Battle Division 1 is the follow. All right, so let's change this commander. You've been in command too long. Above average. So yeah, we'll give you well connected and wily. Kind of like, I like wily, but we'll go with the above average. And then this division, wily. All right. So we took some prestige hits to get some new commanders in these divisions. And then we're going to assign these guys to the fleet flag. They're our best, newest ships. And we'll assign a commander here. Above average and well connected. You're already commanding an armored cruiser, though. So above average. All right. There we go. I don't believe you'd assign commanders to destroyers, I don't think. Yeah. Okay. This war's not like... Ugh. We're getting victories, but we're not doing enough to break the blockade. I'm worried we're going to have another revolution before too long. If we take a look here, the enemy has 14 battleships and 12. They're building 4 more. 8 armored cruisers, so they did lose 2. So they went from 20 to 18 armored cruisers. Russia, please send your battleships to break the blockade. Please. Crews are starting to get a little bit better. They're no longer, well, some of them are still poor, but some of them are getting a little bit better. We'll get 2 more armored cruisers this next turn, and then we'll have some money to lay down some more ships. What are our destroyers at after all those losses? We're down to 13. We've already lost 11. Let's design, we got a little bit of time left. We can design 400-ton destroyers, so let's do that. All right, so 400 tons, a 3-inch fore and aft, 2 torpedoes, a center line, Crowded center line affects rate of fire. Considerably overweight. All right, well, you can go a little bit slower and then you won't be overweight. Engine priority will be normal. Cut speed to 28 knots. We'll do speed, I guess, just to save the weight. So 29 knots. Normal accommodations rather than that. So maybe we'll do 28 knots. 28 knots with normal accommodations, so it won't be cramped. We do get a rate of fire penalty for due to center line crowdedness, if you will. That's a thing. So what if we reduce these calibers to 2s? Okay. So if we reduce the caliber of the guns to 2s, then the center line's not crowded. The question becomes, do we want to have 2 2s or would we rather have a 1 3? And actually with that weight savings, I could bump the speed up to 29. It is short range. They're destroyers though. That's kind of what you'd expect. We'll call them the death class because they're all going to die. It'll take a month to design. And I guess let's go. A cruiser action, eh? Let's see what's going on. Seems like that's been all of our battles. So we've got a task force here of 5 destroyers and 3 light cruisers. There are no objectives. So let's see what we run into. 2 enemy ships spotted. These are of the Kushan class, obviously our destroyers, or our light cruisers. Be cool if we just engage a smaller enemy force. That would be nice, right? They're French. The suffix class is French. That also means speed is going to be an issue. Let's pause. All right, so let's command these guys. We're just going to run these right into the enemy formation. They're moving at 20 knots. We're moving at 22, so we've got a slight speed advantage. We're going to get the light cruisers and try and cross the enemy bow while the destroyers make a run to just sprint straight into their formation. Of course, now they're behind them, so it's going to be a long chase. As they say, of a stern chase. Since we're making 22 knots, we should be overtaking them, or at least not losing ground to them. They've got a slight advantage, well, more than a slight advantage of angle, but the good thing actually for the destroyers is that these light cruisers are focusing their efforts on our light cruisers, which are closing with them. Are there any other enemy ships or just these 2 that we've spotted? Be very fortunate if we engage the enemy on such favorable terms. Now, if we do fire spreaded torpedoes, our light cruisers are opposite of the enemy cruisers, which could be a problem. If they're out of the way there, they actually fired their own torpedo, did the light cruisers. Missed. Enemy's turning away. Looks like one of the suffix may be damaged. Seems like our gunnery is doing pretty well. Seeing quite a few hits. Let's cut the destroyers in on this side so they're not going to be firing with our own cruisers opposite of them. I don't want any friendly fire. All right, one of the suffix is dead in the water. Hit by torpedo. Nice. The other one is heavily aflame. We might get both of these guys. Of course, light cruisers are particularly good at sinking destroyers, so it's possible we will still lose something here. The suffix looks like she's... Well, they're both suffixes. Still nothing else? Oh, shit. More enemy ships are coming in. 2 more unidentified ships. Okay. Bunch of enemy light cruisers, it looks like. I think Austrians. Enemy fired a torpedo by the looks of it, but it appears to have missed. The enemy turned away from us. Interesting. They don't want to fight me? All right, that lead suffix sank, the first one that we hit with the torpedo. All right, we hit the enemy cruiser with torpedoes. Our destroyer launched another one and hit. And another one. She's dead, Jim. I assume. Well, I guess the enemy didn't want to continue to fight then, huh? Meanwhile, our light cruisers have almost burned through all their ammo. If there's one critical design flaw in the Kushin class here, it's that they sure do burn through their ammo fast. All right, let's speed things up. I'm assuming she's going to sink. Continuing to pound her. She's ablaze and dead in the water. Yep, okay. So she sank. Let's go ahead and send these guys back to port. The rest of the enemy task force seems to have hauled off. And so it looks like we'll be able to wrap this up on a tidy little victory. I'm assuming it's a victory. There we go. Victory. So 3 light cruisers lightly damaged. They didn't even damage our destroyers apparently. And we sank 2 enemy light cruisers. There you go. Nice, another victory. France is dominating the seas. You know, they say we're dominating the seas. And yet, Germany honors their alliance and joins Japan in the war against Italy. What the fuck? Is everybody allied to Japan? The enemy sent out feelers through neutral nations about a negotiated peace without border changes or reparations. We should take the chance to end the war now. A compromise peace is mediated by Great Britain. Thank God. All right. So we got out of that war just as I completed the destroyer design. Oh my God. Like, we won a couple of nice little victories there, but that was not, fighting all of Europe was not, I know some of you might have been like, hey, keep it going, you can do it, but fighting all of the world was not in my, my bingo card there. Note to self, Japan is allied to, like, everybody? Well, no, technically it looks like Japan is only allied to France and Germany. Austria-Hungary decided to come. I don't even understand what happened there. So Japan is allied to France and Germany. So that's how they got in the war. I guess because we were at war with Austria-Hungary, that brought, no, but nobody's allied to, I don't even know. We went to war with Japan, though, to help Russia, because Russia went to war with Japan and we were allied to them. Japan was allied to France. That pulled France in. Austria-Hungary, we went to war with, sort of independent of the rest of this. And then Germany came in, so it was, Like, anyway, thank God we got out of that. Tensions considerably reduced. Monthly naval budget not in great shape, but that's because we're building a couple of heavy armored cruisers. We also have quite a few ships in service, which we should probably move out of service. Our battle fleet got the Roma class battleships into service, but they're working up. They didn't even see action. Yeah. Anyway, we'll figure this all out in our next episode. That was a heck of a little blitzkrieg war or lightning war with no result. I hope you guys enjoyed it. It's 1901. Until next time, this is the Historical Gamer saying once again, thank you very much for watching. This is Rule the Waves 3, and until next time, I'm out.